You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Discover the truth.
Original, we the first to do it, and all these other nations are just our children. Even the pale skin was made in our image. Read the book of Ruth and check out your lineage. It's the melanin that gives us a dark complexion. That's a gene, no color separation. The Willie Lynch let it work to perfection. 2000 something and y'all still guessing. Don't know your nationality or your family tree, cause you refuse to listen to the prophet Drew Ali. So I put it in a rap to a mad production, so while your head bobbing you can start to learning something. A great importance, there's so much to learn. Rewind and track and soak it in, knowledge is born.
Hey, you better know who you are, discover the truth. What's going on, people? Once again, you tuned in to TV 33 WHPR, and you tuned into the best station in the nation. And this is the Think Tank Show, and I'm your brother, Brother Bay. What's going on? I have to apologize to y'all. I know we haven't been here for the last couple weeks. Brother was ill. For those who don't know, I was in the hospital. I was diagnosed with a blood clot. Got a blood clot from my inner thigh all the way down to my calf, and brother was healing. I couldn't walk on my leg like I wanted to. I was trying. I was hard-headed. I was still, doing what I wanted to do. And they finally gave me an order to go on bed rest, and I listened. My wife, she wasn't going to accept me to do anything less but listen. So I sat around and I ate and had my leg propped up and got pampered for a few days, and it was pretty good. I think I was going to do it again today, but I had a commitment today. And today's topic is going to be about warming hearts. And we're going to be talking about something that a lot of us are faced with in our community and don't know where to turn to, don't know how to deal with it. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that affect our community, or a major thing that affect our community. Two things: mental illness and breast cancer. A lot of our people in our community, we suffer from mental illness, but the stigma behind mental illness itself prevents us from going to get the necessary help that we need. And the help that we need is not necessarily always medication. It's clinical, but it's not necessarily always medication. Cognitive thinking, things like that are some of the things that can help curb some of the things that we go through. If we know what it is that we're going through, we have to know what it is that we're dealing with. So, we're going to be talking about things like anxiety disorders, bipolar, schizophrenia, things like that. I'm not going to give you clinical diagnosis. No one here is qualified to give you a clinical diagnosis today, neither. But we're going to be talking about those type of things. We're going to be hearing, from two beautiful young ladies that we have in the studio with us today. And we're going to be talking about warming hearts. And this is what this is about. But we're also going to be talking about something that's extremely important: breast cancer awareness. There's going to be a walk, and we're going to be asking people to make donations for breast cancer, which is going to be September. It's going to be Sunday, September the 10th, and it's going to be in Roseville, or it's going to be at the Roseville Masonic Temple, located at 27151 Gratiot Avenue in Roseville, Michigan. And for all of y'all out there, y'all know me. It's very important that you get a pen and a piece of paper so that you can take down some information like telephone numbers, email addresses, etc., etc. So today, this is what we're going to be dealing with. And we got two beautiful young ladies here today with us, and I'm going to ask them to go ahead and introduce themselves, starting with this young lady over here,
My name is Tiffany Kelly, and I am the founder of Warming Hearts.
Tiffany.
My name is Lakeisha Coakley, and I'm the secretary for Warmer Hearts.
See, that wasn't that hard, was it, Tiffany? The sister, y'all know me. I'm real and I'm silly. But the sister she was nervous. When I say nervous, she was nervous. She said, I'm not going to go on there. I'm not going to do it. Put the children on there. We're going to get to them later on, though. Put the children on there. No, we ain't going to get. Didn't have a waiver form for the children. She hurried up, faxed the waiver form over, got the waiver form faxed back. She was like, can we get the Nope, you going on there. So we got you today, sister. You feel all right?
Still nervous, but better.
Better.
Yes.
So answer the question that everybody should want to know. Why Warming Hearts? Why that name? And what made you come up with the idea to start this 501c3?
Warming Hearts came.
Hold on, try this with me. Breathe, go.
Okay. Well, back in 1998, I was diagnosed with major depression. Actually, postpartum depression, and I've been suffering back and forth for over 20 years. In 2015, I had a scary episode. So I decided that once I got myself together, I wanted to give back to the community after going through therapy and realizing that it wasn't postpartum, but I had been suffering since I was middle age, teenage years, and I figured that there were a lot of children that were suffering from it as well that don't know how to handle it or don't know what they're facing with. So I decided that I wanted to start a mentorship that had to do with mental illness in children.
I'm grateful that you did it because just from talking to you over the last month, you know, we have gotten a little bit more in depth with things. And I can honestly say you're one of our heroes. You're one of our community heroes because a lot of people, they have ambition or they have ideas, but they don't follow through with it. And I tell people a lot of times that it's always good to follow through with your ideas and your dreams and your passion because you never know where it's going to take you. Like you didn't know that it's going to take you to be on TV 33 WHPR today. I don't know why, but because you're a beautiful person, you're a beautiful spirit.
Thank
But
you.
why the name Warming Hearts?
Actually, it was supposed to be M&M's because I wanted to name it something that I love, and the characters just give me life when I see them. But I had someone talk to me about
See,
it,
now you're making me hungry.
and they just said, that, you know, you got to think beyond that,
Okay.
So I wanted to be something about me, and everybody always say I have such a big heart and I'm so warm, and so that's why I came up with the Warming Hearts. But I still was able to keep the M&M in there because now it's managing mental stabilities.
Wow.
So I got everything in there as one.
Okay. All right. I'm feeling that. I mean, I'm glad you didn't use M&M's because every time I would have been looking at your foundation, I'd be, having to get, and I like the peanuts, the ones, that's my favorite. Right there. What's going on with you, young lady?
Nothing. What's going on with you?
Well, I want to talk about what we was talking about behind the scenes. So,
Okay.
what's going on? What made you want to get involved with people with mental illness, and later now dealing with Warming Hearts?
Well, of course, me and Tiffany, we've been friends for a long time. So any cause she's behind, I'm there with her. But on a personal level, I am a caretaker of a person with mental illness, and that person has had it since I was 15. So I know what the triggers are, and I know kind of what that person goes through, and I see it and I witness it. So when she decided to put this together, I figure, hey, I got a little bit of insight with that. I have some, experience with that. Maybe I could help out. So that's what got me kind of geared towards it. And working in the school system, a lot of children have behavioral issues, and as parents, we're like, oh, they're just acting out, or they don't, they don't have any home training, etc., etc., not really knowing that it's possible that they could have some kind of cognitive issues.
When you say cognitive issues, could you be a little bit more specific?
Yeah, like, how would I put this? Behaviors that are not normal, or saying things that are not normal, or doing things that are not normal. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. So, yeah, and just in that, and sitting with, I was on some meetings for children with behavior, and just sitting there and listening to what the parents were saying, how they were going to one resource. Some parents were getting what they needed from the resource, other parents weren't. So I'm sitting there thinking like, well, my friend done started this wonderful organization. Hopefully we can get to a place where this can be another option besides that option. Because when you monopolizing something and everybody's going to that source, the people that's operating that source, they get burned out. So the quality suffers. So let's give the people another place to go besides that place.
That's key, because a lot of times when we have a limited amount of resources, the system tends to spread itself too thin, and the actual attention that is needed to be given to the people that need it, everyone is not going to receive the attention that's needed, because the proverbial classroom is overcrowded. If a teacher statistically should only have, let's say, 10 to 15 students in a classroom, but they have 35 students in the classroom, obviously something is not going to go right. Someone or some people is going to be left behind. And this is something that we suffer even in the public school system today. Teachers shouldn't have no more maybe than 12 to 15 students in a classroom, but they're bombarded with 28 to 32 students in a classroom, and they can't spread themselves thin to give the attention to every student as they should. And even if they did, the children wouldn't excel at the level or at the rate that they should, because of the fact that they're not getting the curriculum as quick as they should, because they're constantly stopping. So when you look at the point that you're making, when you have limited institutions, now I'm gonna give you a little history about the state of Michigan. In the early 1990s, we had a governor by the name of John Engler. And John Engler had closed down the mental institutions. And his idea was, we don't have to put them in mental institutions, we can send them to prison. And we can give them the medication that they need in prison, but we'll throw them in the population with the rest of the people and just let them fend for themselves. So they closed down a lot of mental institutions, and some of the mental institutions that they closed down, they actually put barbed wire fences around them and turned them into prisons. It was a story, and I know I'm a little off topic with where I'm going with this, but it's a recent story that was in the news in Southwest Detroit, where a mother stabbed and killed her child.
1-year-old.
And allegedly, she had some mental issues.
Yes.
Now, the sad part about this is she is not going to get the effective treatment that she needs with her mental issues. She's going to be treated like a common criminal. And she's going to be thrown inside the prison system with other people that probably should be there. I'm not saying everybody in prison should be there. I'm just saying that they probably should be there. I don't know. And that's not the place for her. The place for a person that has to live with the fact, once they come out of that relapse that she went through, obviously, that she killed her own child, she's obviously is going to be going through something for the rest of her life.
Yes.
And being in the prison system, me personally, arguably, is not the place for her. But you have so many individuals that are actually in the prison system that should be in treatment for arguably maybe for the rest of their life. If you have money, if you, like, let's say, for instance, one of the DuPonts who murdered their lover in Washington, D.C. some years ago, he went to a mental institution. And he stayed inside the mental institution for maybe a year, and he was released after committing the murder. So there is a disparity there because he had money. Let's look at the person who tried to commit murder on the President of the United States of America. Went to a mental institution to back out into society. But when you're talking about someone who comes from poverty, who comes from the urban community, and they have mental issues and they may commit what is considered to be a crime in our society, however, they have mental issues and they don't have any money, they actually get treated like common criminals and they're sent to prison and they're experimented on with medication. Now, me and you had this conversation. We touched on this topic about medication. A lot of times parents don't actually want their child to be on medication. And I have heard that some schools, some principals, their tactic is unethical because they intimidate the parent into making them believe that if you don't put that child on medication, that they no longer can go to school. They have to, they give them, they use the fear-mongering tactics, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel about that?
I don't.
Have you ever experienced that? That's what I wanted to ask you. Have you ever been in that position where you may have needed or knew somebody that they wanted to place on medication and you was like, no, to hell with that, I'm not going to do it?
Well, yeah. My son, when he started preschool, he had a lot of behavior issues. So when I took him to his pediatrician, she suggested that he may have had ADHD, gave me a pamphlet and a list of possible medications he could take. I said, no, I'm not putting my son on medication, because once you put people on medication, they have to be on it. And at that age, I didn't want to put him on medication because I wasn't 100% sure. So I have a lot of adult conversations with my child. And at that time, I said, what is it that's making you feel that way? What is it that's making you act this way? He said, I just want to be at home, because it was just me and him. So being away from me, I felt he acted out in school because he know I would come, because every time they called, I come. So put two and two together. I said, maybe he doesn't have a mental issue. Maybe he's just having some kind of maybe separation anxiety right now. Kindergarten, nothing. Not one call, not one letter, not anything. And his kindergarten teacher actually was surprised because she said, oh, the teachers were talking about him all summer, and I was worried, and I had him sit in front of the class, but I haven't had a problem all year.
It sounds like to me that you have, and I've met another additional member of your staff, if I'm not mistaken, up at your place of employment.
Yes.
And just from talking with her and now talking to this young lady, it sounds like to me that you're going to have an effective organization.
Yeah.
And the question I want to ask you is, where do you see Warming Hearts going to? Where do you want to take Warming Hearts?
Right now, I'm not really 100% of where I want it to go. I know right now where I want it to be at this stage. But in we're talking with someone else in 2018, I am thinking about expanding it from just children to women that suffer from some type of mental illness, and I have another friend, a guy friend that suffers from it. And like we were talking before, he self medicates with alcohol, and so me and him talk to each other a lot. So um, I want to guide towards adults, but right now, this year, I want to finish focusing on the children.
Children.
And can I just add to that real quick? I think it's important to engage the children because children are clay. We can mold them.
Right.
While the clay is still soft, let's mold them so as they get older, they'll be able to deal and cope with it. We don't want to wait till they're in their late teens or adulthood and people's like, oh, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. Let's tackle that now so we can get control of it or whatever. So through community involvement, we want them to be able to manage whatever it is they're going through. And not necessarily saying they may have a mental issue. They may just have other issues that doesn't need medication, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm a believer that some mental issues people are born with, and some mental issues are developmental because of environment, where they're from, where they're at, how they come up. Me, for example, I can honestly say I came from a dysfunctional household and family. Alcoholism, drug abuse, hustlers, pimps, prostitutes. All of that was within the fabric of my actual bloodline. The things that I saw, the things that I was exposed to. Let me give you an example. I had male family members that used to always punch me in my chest. You so sissified. You a mama's boy. These streets gonna eat you up. You gotta be a beast out here. You can't be no punk. They used to say certain things to me, and they used to do a lot of different things. And it became something. I became something. And it caused me to develop a way of acting and reacting to things that was unhealthy. And I began to self-medicate through drugs, alcohol, etc. And it was later in life that I also was diagnosed, and I was given the cognitive thinking and things like that. It didn't always work for me because you can always relapse.
Yes.
There's always that major percentile, especially when you're dealing with environment, timing, circumstances that it's like certain smells can trigger a person who has bipolar, has anxiety disorder. I have an anxiety disorder, and a certain smell can trigger something. Going down a certain street, seeing a certain person, it can trigger something. And if you don't have the cognitive thinking preparation, knowing how to stop, breathing techniques, how to correct your thinking, you can automatically go into, I need a bottle, I need to smoke a joint, or I need to smoke some crack, or I need to sniff some cocaine or shoot some heroin. These are triggers. When you hear us talk about triggers, these are the things that we're talking about. Things that when you are in a remission, so to speak, stage of going through your episodes, you can always relapse because of a smell, because of a person, because of a street. You could just see something. And when we're not properly prepared for that, this is the reason why we have so many people that relapse when they are receiving help. And like I tell people all the time, I say, do you actually believe that the sister you see standing on the corner as a little girl grew up and said she wanted to be a prostitute? You actually believe that this is what this little girl's dream was? Something happened to her in her coming up that led her into this particular, and it's not a profession, this is a mental illness. Anybody that does self-undoing to themselves like that on a consistent basis is suffering some type of mental illness or relapse or handicap, because that's not healthy. That's not natural thinking. That's not a natural way of thinking. And some people will arguably say, well, you got people in Nevada that's their profession, etc., etc. Okay, I understand that, but you also have people in the city of Detroit, their profession is selling crack cocaine, but you ain't gonna tell me when they was 5 and 6 years old that they wanted to be a crack dealer. Right. Something happened in that process of them becoming that. And these are the things, this is the reason why I'm bringing it up, is because we have to pay attention to our children. But I learned this through going through cognitive thinking and things like that, and my trying to get my brain right. A lot of times our children go to school, parents, and they are hyper. And the teachers will say, your child just be acting up. They won't sit still. They running around the classroom and running around the school, etc., etc. And it doesn't necessarily be because they have a mental illness. You didn't pack their lunch pail with nothing but sugar. What you think that sugar gonna do?
Right.
We have to think about that too. So it not only does it start with the children, it also has to start with the parent, because the parent has to know what to look for. The parent has to know what to prevent or not to do to prevent their child from running around in the school hyperactive. If you feed your child tonight or allow your child to eat 5 packs of 9-laters and a Snicker bar tonight at 8 o'clock, and you expect them to go to sleep at 11, you crazy. Because that child is going to be amped. That child is going to be hyped. It's going to be riled up because of the sugar. So we have to be careful of what we put inside of our children's lunch pails too, because when they go to school and they done ate all this sugar, all this candy, you know, and you giving them all these sugar bars and all this in their lunch pail, expect for them to do with the sugar, that drug that they call sugar, have them do, and that's to be hyper. It doesn't mean that they have ADHD, you know, don't mean that they have a attention deficit disorder. It just means that they running around high off of sugar.
Right.
And when a lot of times when we just change our diet, and it's not just from mental illness, it's from physical illness, etc. You can just change the diet, and you can curb certain behaviors, unhealthy behaviors. And so, just not from a food perspective, but what you allow your children to put in their mind. You have to watch what they're eating or what they're placing inside of their mind on a day-to-day basis, because that's what they're trying to emulate, and this is what they're trying to act out. So I just needed to throw that out there, because a lot of people think that just because children is hyper in school, that it's because they have ADHD or something like that. No, you didn't put too much sugar in their dang on lunch pail, and you need to back up off that.
And I want to piggyback on something that you said, that it starts at home with the parents of learning what to look for. Not only with the parents, to me, that's why the children that's in my group right now, none of them actually suffer from it, but because kids nowadays, they don't talk to their parents, but they will talk to their peer.
They talk to other children.
Right. So I'm teaching them so they can recognize the signs in some of their friends. Mm-hmm. So when they begin to feel comfortable and talk to them and tell them what's going on in their lives, they could pick up on it and say, hey, this person I think may need some help.
Yeah, peers helping peers.
Peers, right.
That's you know, because a lot of times we just can't relate to our parents.
Right.
And that's because some parents don't know how to become relatable. Some parents don't know how to be relatable. You just do what I say and don't worry about what I said and how I said. You don't do what I do, you do as I say. Well, you drinking alcohol all day and you don't want me to drink alcohol. Yeah, you don't do as I do, you do as I say. No, that's not how that works. You know, you have to lead by example. Right. So when you have children that is equipped to identify certain things in other children, then it's something that they can help out with, you know, and something that they can go to their teacher and they can say, I believe, you know, my classmate is depressed. I think it's a possibility they can be thinking about suicide. I think they're being abused at home. Right. These are the things that we need to teach our other children other children to look out for their other children, because you got children that's abused at home, and they're not going to talk to the teachers, but
Right.
they'll talk to one of their classmates,
Right.
or one of their classmates may even know that that particular person is being abused at home, or something is not right. And if they're equipped to be able to articulate what they're seeing in their friend to their teacher, or to even their parent,
Right.
that may be equipped to go to the teacher or go to the child's parent, that's what we call prevention. And what I see that Warming Hearts is dedicated to is prevention, intervention, and rehabilitation. And these are the 3 steps that I believe that we need to get involved in order for us to start healing our community. We can't just wait and sit around and wait for our children when we see that they have behavioral issues and say, yeah, that boy is on a fast one-way ticket straight to penitentiary. You know, they did that with me. Well, if you know I'm on a one-way pass straight to penitentiary, don't you think that you should, intervene? That's intervention, prevention, and then rehabilitation. So once we intervene, or we do some intervention in our community and some prevention in our community, then we don't have to worry about our children going to prison and having to be rehabilitated. You see what I mean? So Warming Hearts is definitely something that I'm going to be supportive of for a very long time. And Warming Hearts definitely have a platform here with the Think Tank Show with me. And I'm saying that now with everybody that's watching, that I have a lot of people that have came through here that had aspirations of forming a 501c3. And they procrastinated and they procrastinated. And some of them are still procrastinating, because it is a big step. It's a step that you want to take. It costs money. I'm not downplaying anybody that hasn't made that step yet, because everybody has their reason. We don't know what their circumstances may be. But when you have a passion about something, it's important to put your all in all into what it is that you want to do to help better yourself, better your community, and raise awareness for whatever that organization is that you want to dedicate your time and your energy to, because you're going to benefit from it, and other people is going to benefit from it, and you don't know where it's going to take you. So when you have these ideas and you're not doing anything, you become an idle mind, and that is the devil's workshop.
Yes.
And you find yourself making the wrong decisions, even in the process of trying to do the right thing, because you're procrastinating. So what we're going to talk about now is Warming Hearts is also involved in something else that I find interesting, and worthy of support, and that is breast cancer awareness. What's going on with that?
My grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer, so she's a breast cancer survivor. And we had a coworker that passed 3-4 weeks ago, years ago, and I looked up to her as like a mom too, and she passed away from breast cancer. So breast cancer has always been something close to my heart. I think my grandmother has been a survivor for 10 years now. So whenever I can do anything for breast cancer, I do the walks every year. So this year, what I decided to do was have a vendor show, which we call a snack and shop,
Okay.
which would be September the 10th.
Okay.
And the proceeds will be going towards the breast cancer walk. We're going to have a team called Warming Hearts. So anybody want to join us, please do so. And
Give them the information on how they can join you, where they can call, and all that type of stuff before you go forward, because I'm quite sure some people out there right now say, I want to get in on that. Breast cancer, now you knocking on my door.
we will be at the Roseville Masonic Temple, which is located at 27151 Grasher Avenue in Roseville. That day we're doing the vendor show for a fundraiser, and then October the 22nd, 21st, we will be walking the walk, making strides against breast cancer as a organization.
Okay, do we have phone number, email address where we can get in contact with you?
Yes, Warming Hearts email address is warminghearts2016@gmail.com. And you can contact me at 313-779-5298.
Okay.
And also, you can follow us on Facebook. Just search us Warmer Hearts.
Okay, so vendors. If you want to be a vendor, they can also get in contact with you.
Yes.
And it's still time
Yes.
for them to be vendors.
Yeah, you just can't go on the flyer.
Just can't go on the flyer, but you'll still be able to be there, set your table up, and
Yes.
become a part of this. And the people that are paying for their vendor spot, you're telling us that the monies is going towards breast cancer awareness and this 501, beautiful 501c3 that we know is being Warming Hearts.
Yes, it's
So they will
supporting
be
both.
contributing. They will be contributing to both. They will be proverbially killing two birds with one stone. We're not
Correct.
talking about really killing nobody, but I'm just saying we want to kill cancer and we want
Yes.
to kill mental illness. So I don't know. Maybe we is trying to. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, they're gonna learn today. Somebody over here told me earlier today, that they inspired by Kevin Hart. So I just thought I'd just throw that out there and let her know to get it together, because we got some beautiful young children up in here, some teenagers, and they gonna come on here and they gonna say hi to y'all later on in the show. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed because when my wife brought you to my attention, she was like, look, I know what your passion is. I know what you deal with. I know what you go through in life. And it's somebody I think that you really want to talk to, because I think that y'all might be able to work together and get this, information out here. And lo and behold, I was able to sit and talk with you. And I took a liking to you immediately because it was like you was an open book. You wasn't, a lot of people, they closed in, they really don't know, they apprehensible, like, who is this dude right here wearing these top 10s and his baseball hat, you know what I mean? He got swagger like he a young dude, he 50 years old. I mean, I ain't 50, but I'm pushing it. And we connected, and your energy, all the way up until the day we connected, because I was kind of ticked off at you. I was like, "What you mean you ain't gonna go on TV and talk, sister? You got me stuck, Gov. You don't get
You told me radio, so
I told you. I told you
Yes,
radio.
I thought you told me
You
radio.
thought?
But
Listen, y'all.
I
me
was still
smile.
gonna be nervous either way.
You
so
gonna be nervous anyway?
Yes.
So it didn't matter.
No.
We on radio.
Still.
I mean TV. I mean radio. But we getting the job done.
Right.
And you talked about someone saying to you that they looking forward to see you on Black Girls Rock. And I'm just gonna say this right here. You ain't gotta be on TV to get no award to show that you rock, sister, because you
Thank
do.
you.
Because you didn't ball up in the corner. You don't have pity on yourself. It ain't woe is me. It's like, okay, I got something going on, and I'm finna get out here and I'm finna fight, because I got some other brothers and sisters out here that got the same thing going on, and we want to prevent them from having to go through the things that I had to go
Yes.
through to get to the stage that I am at today. Because if you would have known earlier on, you probably not have went through the things that you have went through. But I will say this, the things that you did go through made you the person that you are today. So there's no accidents, there's no strange happening. We all go through the things that we go through in life for a reason. It might be a season, but it's a reason to it. And I'm proud to even be in the position to lend you the platform like we have here with the Think Tank Show, to have you on the air, because it's a lot of brothers and sisters. A lot of times when we have topics like this, my phone don't ring. But when we talking about politics, or we talking about Mike Duggan did this, or Rick Snyder did that, or they really chime in, and they got something to say. But when we talking about, and I noticed this about them, when we talk about topics that's hitting home like this, and it's personal, they just want to listen, because we're not only speaking to them, we're speaking for them. So you're not only you haven't developed an organization for them, or to them, or for them, but this organization also represents them. So you stepped out there in a big way. And I'm saying to you right now that the steps that you're making are effective. You're getting the job done. And all you need to do is just keep going, sister, because you never know. This may be your medicine. This might be the most important medicine that you ever could take. And that's what Warming Hearts and the things that you're doing with Warming Hearts and the things that you're doing for people through this particular channel that you have founded called Warming Hearts, because it gives you a peace of mind.
Just well, maybe earlier last week, I was just so stressed with trying to work a 40-hour work week, trying to get the organization going together, and some other things that I'm trying to do on the other side. And I was just so stressed, just really, really stressed. And I just had like a breakdown, and I just started crying. And I just thought about the organization. I said, you can't break down. How can you help somebody else if you can't help yourself? And so when I thought about the organization, I thought about the kids, I said, okay, let's get this together. And that's what kind of shook me out of it. So it like you said, it is my medicine to be able to think like, okay, I got somebody else looking at me.
Right.
So how can I,
Right. That's absolutely, that's how you look. I mean, I go through the same thing. People think because I'm on television that I'm getting paid for this. If people make donations to me, the Think Tank Show, okay, yeah, it helps. It helps me to continue to go on. It helps me to be able to put gas in my vehicle and get up here and make sure the show is going on. It helps me to prevent me from having to wear the same shirt every show, stuff like that. But, I mean, it all helps. But I don't get paid for this. I'm not on a salary. I don't have sponsors that's giving me $30,000, $40,000 for the Think Tank Show. So don't get it twisted. I'm not doing this because somebody is paying me to do this. I'm doing this because it's my passion. It's something I love. And it's my medication. This is my therapy. It's a part of me. I go through what I go through psychologically, just like anybody else that has been diagnosed with the things that I've been diagnosed with. But because I have an outlet and I have an institution like WHPR that I can come to, it takes my mind off of my worries. It takes my mind off my physical pains because I have spinal stenosis. And I have arthritis in my back, and it aggravates my sciatica. So I go through a lot of things. And then, like I say, I have my psychological situation that I go through as well. And when I come in here, I know how many people this institution has actually helped. Not just me, but it helps people on a consistent basis. It helps people to help other people on a consistent basis. So I give thanks to Mr. Henry Tyler and Mr. R.J. Watkins and Brother Hodo for even giving me this opportunity, because these are the people that actually, they didn't have to trust me. They didn't have to say, okay, this dude coming home from prison, we're going to give him a shot. They did that. They actually allowed me to show and prove that you can give a person another chance. And because I was given that chance, I'm able to give you an opportunity. So it's like a domino effect.
Right.
You help one person, the next person help another person, and so on and so forth. And there we go. The community within itself that we come from, like the old saying got, and I got this out the movie New Jack City, we all we got.
Yes.
And when you really look at it, sweetheart, we all we got. And because I know that to be a fact, that we all we got, that was the reason why I couldn't turn you down. I was like, come on with it. Let's go. And you got it. You shook off the nervousness and you synced the bigger picture, because this is bigger than you. It's bigger than Tiffany. And I watched you shake it off. I watched you try to talk me out of it too. You tried to get me. She tried to get me, y'all. She was like, I can't do it. But you shook it off, and I'm proud of you for doing it. Do you have any remarks, closing remarks, before we go to a break? Because we got some fine young men and young ladies that we want to bring on to say hi to the people, and we're going to do that for them. But do you have anything that you want to say before we go take a break?
Just if You are going through anything, just remember there's resources out there to help you. Even if you're an adult and you just want somebody to listen to, you can give me a call. We're also always looking for different mentors, especially men, because we don't have any men mentors right now. Um, and if you would like to make a donation towards our cause, um, feel free.
Give them your number.
313-779-5298, and the email is warminghearts2016 at
.com.
gmail.com.
Anything you want to say?
Um, Not too much to say. Pretty much said, everything we had to say. Be sure to come out and support us on September the 10th. And
sure.
yeah, just come out and support us. And we're here to do a good thing. And if you want to get your children involved, feel free to email us. We'll send you an enrollment form or whatever. Or if you yourself want to get involved, or if you have family members that want to get involved, be sure to reach out to us. And again, that's Warmer Hearts 2016 at gmail.com. If you want to make a donation, you can do that through PayPal using the same email address, warminghearts2016 at gmail.com.
Well, there you have it, y'all. Y'all keep it locked right here. We're not going to go anywhere, not just yet, but we're going to go ahead and take a quick break because we got some, I'm not going to say fine because that can be taken as inappropriate, but I'm going to say a handsome young man and two beautiful young ladies that's going to come on, and they want to say hi to y'all. Actually, I'm just going to be honest with you. They tried to Shanghai the show. They was trying to talk me into taking over the show earlier when we was in the WVIE studio earlier. Talking, I can do it. I'm going to do it. I want to talk. I talk. And they was just trying to take me out my position and everything else. But anyway, y'all keep it locked. We'll be right back.
I'm phased up, illuminated. I see you watching, I know you hate it. We done woke up, re-educated off of Juali's demonstration. A new nation, come of age. A long way high from them slavery days. Let my people in before we kick the dough. Had them up, T's coming with the swords. We born more, reduce the black, lace my boots up. Knocked out, gray shadowed in, Europeanized mindset hammered in. The great fall of the Moor man, I was on him. My square, on my five, consciousness on overdrive, mind state on high. Praise Allah that I'm alive, awake from the grave in the sea full of lies. I come to claim what's mine, so step back. It's that time, it's the return of the Moors, return of the Moors, return of the Moors. It's the return of the Moors, return of the Moors, return of the Moors.
As I rise above the murky features of the flesh, I give praises to Allah, cause every day I'm blessed. I'm being tested daily, living amongst the shady. At night I gotta pray, if not the streets will drive me crazy. I'm keeping things in a bounds of moderation. Being locked up taught me to practice patience. Every year I'm trying to see another more celebration. I once was in the dark, but now I like a basement. I thank Parker Bay for all the faithful demonstrations. We know death is a friend, so ain't no escaping. Islam means peace. I'm surviving in these streets. Too many years in prison, so now I had to seek. I got a conflicting soul, but now my soul is meek. I got the gift, honest to Noble Drew Ali. He opened my eyes, so now I plainly see what the Moor Sign Temple strictly did for
on
me.
On my square, on my five, consciousness on overdrive, mind state on high. Praise Allah that I'm alive, awake from the grave in the sea full of lies. I come to claim what's mine, so step back. It's that time, it's the return of the Moors, return of the Moors, return of the Moors. It's the return of the Moors, return of the Moors, return of the Moors. It's the return.
Hot on the set, and we got three young, brilliant minds behind us. And like I say, earlier today, they had me in WVIE, and they had a whole bunch they wanted to say. But then we get them out here, and now we're going to see if they won't say something, because now they live on television. So we're going to see what they got to say. But tell us your names.
I'm Cece.
Speak up.
I'm Cece.
Cece.
I'm Nick.
Nick.
I'm Lakira.
Nakira. Cece. What's your real name?
Mariah.
Mariah. You know, it's a beautiful sister that same name Mariah. You know, it's a beautiful name. You just like to be called Cece, huh? Yeah. Tell us, what have y'all done recently with Warming Hearts, so they'll know what the children of Warming Hearts is about and what y'all into. What have y'all done recently?
Today we fed the veterans.
Speak up.
Today we fed the
You
veterans.
said you wanted to be the next Kevin Hart. Now, Kevin Hart talk loud now. You gonna learn today. Tell them what they do. What you do? You
I fed the veterans.
You fed the veterans today? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you take away from that the most that you enjoyed?
That Marines bark.
That Marines bark. She was telling me, she said I was up in there and the Marine went to barking at me. She said, then I found out that was his way of saying thank you. I said, well, what's that thing they wear around the neck? So he said, a dog chain. I said, well, that's why they bark. Got a dog chain around his neck. What you think? What's going on with you, brother?
Nothing much.
What's going on? You was a part of the feeding the veterans and things like that?
Yeah.
I heard you was a part of feeding the homeless too, or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You enjoyed yourself?
Yes.
Did you take anything away with that? Away from that? What was your most favorite moment about that? Either one of them.
Just seeing how grateful they were.
That's profound. Seeing how grateful they are, you know, because people are grateful that other people care enough to come out and feed them, or clothe them, or just give them a hug, or just spend some time with. A lot of times people go out and play chess, checkers, card games with them, stuff like that. And the youngster just actually told us that they was grateful. And that's when you see gratitude in someone's face, that's a reward like no other, because you put that on that person's face, because you never know how they was feeling before you got there. They probably felt hopeless, or feeling ungrateful about life, or feeling as though their life was against them and nobody cared, etc., etc. And you can change a person's whole attitude by just taking that small little time out of your life and just spend it with somebody that actually need it. So hey, I can dig that. What's going on with you, young lady?
Nothing much.
What's your name?
Lakira.
Lakira. You know, what's going on with you?
Nothing really.
Nothing.
No.
What you say you want to grow up and be in life?
A pediatrician.
A pediatrician. Did you hear that? I can't even pronounce the word she just said. You want to do what?
A pediatrician.
I thought she was cussing at me. I was ready to call her mama. I didn't know what she was, but she want to be a pediatrician. Once I was able to go to Google and looked it up, she about to make a whole bunch of money. I'll be coming to get some money from you. What you think about Warming Hearts?
I think it's a great organization to help people with the homeless and try to feed them and try to like talk to people about different illnesses and try to help them.
You got some brilliant young minds with you.
Thank you.
She said just bring y'all up here to say hi. So y'all say hi to the people.
Hi.
Hello.
Y'all better say it louder than that. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So y'all came up here and did what y'all was supposed to do and some. But don't go nowhere. Don't walk off the second. We're getting ready to close out. This is the end of the show. And I'm going to have y'all come back. And I want y'all to give us a report on what's going on, what Tiffany is doing, and what Warming Hearts has accomplished. Maybe even come back and let us know how the breast cancer awareness march was, you know, how it was, and whatever y'all got going on, and what y'all people, you know, what you need people to be a part of, and get other young people involved in what y'all doing, because y'all the next leaders of Warming Hearts. How about that? Sounds good?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got something like you want to say? You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you think you figured it out what you want to do now in life?
Not yet.
You gonna get it though. You gonna get it, young brother. You gonna get it. Y'all some brilliant young minds. I'm proud of you, sister. You doing the right
Thank
thing.
you.
The children are our future.
And I just want to tell your wife, thank you. It's all your fault. No. He puts me on the spot all the time, but thank you for introducing me to him. He's been a really good help.
Hey, all I can say, y'all, tune in to it. You got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yes, enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Have
Oh.
lots of barbecue.
Oh, and any single brothers out there that want to know about these sisters, come to the march. Y'all said that. I didn't say, listen, I didn't say, if you want to know anything about the sisters, come to the march.
And wear your best pink.
They say real men wear pink on that day. You know? So I'm just saying, come on out, y'all. I didn't say it. The sister said it. She's like, yeah, I'm responsible. I got my own car and I got a job and I ain't buying it. Told you I was going to get you. Look, tune in to us next week. Same place, same channel right here, TV33 WHPR, the best station in the nation. And I'm going to send my shout out to Sister Katrina Muhammad. She says she'll be here with us again next week. You know, she has some things she had to do. So I salute everybody, man. And y'all keep up the good work. Hey, thanks for tuning in. See y'all next week. Peace.